G'day, this is Simon from the Bracketeer and James, and we are at South OC Cars and Coffee for another amazing Saturday. It's great to have one of our volunteers back, Bob, our original volunteer. You can actually hear him in the background, spruiking, selling our t-shirts and hoodies, which is awesome. So big welcome back, Bob. Anything that's taken your interest this morning, James?
Yeah, we actually have a really clean E30 from, I believe it's Borsteiner today. A bunch of other cool stuff. We have a really nice, it's an F8 Tributo from Bowden. Bunch of great stuff this morning. It's a great show so far.
Yeah, and one that's going to really caught my eye that I actually had the opportunity to go for a ride in a couple of weeks ago. Tom Shaughnessy has brought an original RS200 Evo, just a killer car, like 700 horsepower, 2,500 pounds rally car. Really cool. Let's go for a walk and check it out. So this is the RS200 I was talking about before. I was lucky enough, Tom rang me about 2 weeks ago and said, hey, come over to my place, I want to take you for a ride and something. And this was what he was going to take me for a ride in. This RS200, great car, obviously built for Ford to be competitive in the rally market. This is an Evo, one of about 15 that were built. When this thing is under full crank, it's running about 50 pounds of boost. It's about 704 horsepower from memory. I think 2,500 pounds was the weight. So a really, really, really quick little car. It is a full-blown race car. Interestingly, the guys that did the coach work on this car were the same guys that did body work for people like Rover. So there's actually some pieces and parts in this thing that actually come from Rover. But the vehicle itself obviously is a Ford running gear, but incredible car to hear this thing crunch through the gearbox, because it really is a, crunch gearbox. Absolutely amazing, and one of the most exhilarating rides that I've ever been in a car. Just pure race car, very old school rally car, agricultural feel about it. So big thank you to Tom for bringing this out, and an even bigger thank you for taking me for a ride in this thing. Absolutely love it. I mentioned last week, we are very excited to have Polestar on board as our diamond sponsor of South OC Cars and Coffee. And Jordan has brought two this morning. We've got the beautiful P1 Coupe that we had here last week, and the new beautiful P2 as well, the sedan. These cars are absolutely stunning, and one of the reasons is the guy who's running the Polestar company was the guy who was in charge of industrial design at Volvo. So great to see there's a guy with design vision and design passion running the company, not an accountant who's only interested in the bottom line. So that's one of the reasons these things are so beautiful, and I think are a real standout. And they feel like they've got proper car DNA. They don't feel like just a piece of technology, which is really, really great. Now, at first glance, you may think this is a Morgan because it looks like one of those Morgan three-wheelers, but it's actually a Motor Guzzi three-wheeler. It's called a JZR three-wheeler with a Motor Guzzi engine in it. Isn't this great? I have no idea about the history of this thing or when it was built. It looks like it's old, but hard to tell. So check out this R35, all carbon fibre. The panel on the hood so you can actually look at the car. Isn't this beautiful? Just a great looking car at every angle. I say it every time I talk about an R35, these things have really stood the test of time. When they came out a number of years ago now, over a decade, they look very futuristic, and they were probably one of the most tech-heavy cars on the market. In fact, people like Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear said that they were almost sterile to drive. But look now, all these years later, still looks great, and is still a car that really holds its own from a performance side of things. This thing, obviously aftermarket, all being carbon fibre. What a great thing to have here. So check this thing out, beautiful 32, running a small block, 427, very, very sweet. Love this thing. Roof's off at the moment, he was just taking it off a second ago. Really nicely done. Electric windows, very, very clean. Injection, something about a 32 or a 34 for me. I wouldn't be picky either way. If someone wanted to give me one, I'd be happy with that. Really nice wheels as well. Budniks make a really nice hot rod wheel. They look great. Big rubber on the back. Good to see. So you see this Ram sitting here and you go, what's a Ram with a bit of a lift doing sitting at the show? Well, this is the new TRX. This is the Ram. Tucked down in there is a Hellcat motor. So over 700 horsepower in your average pickup. Isn't that cool? One of our regulars owns this and he mentioned it. I might have just walked straight past if he hadn't said anything, because if you look at that plastic cover, you don't even see the blower under there. So this is definitely worth mentioning. This belongs to Paul, one of our volunteers. This is a 64 Cyclone. This is a barn find. He found this thing, I think, in a container. Factory colour, had a respray, I think he said 24 years ago. Beautiful interior. Factory dash mounted tack. It's got what they consider the higher performance engine in those days. So isn't that amazing? This beautiful Comet. There's still cars out there to be found. Get out there, check those containers, check those barns. Wow, this is beautiful. Another contender for car of the week for sure. Oh, a couple of beautiful old cars, certainly worth pointing out. Look at the colour. Isn't this wonderful? Beautifully done. I don't know that phone holder that's in there would have come from the factory like that, but I could be wrong. So simplistic, and next to it, 31 Ford. Isn't that beautiful? Those two sitting side by side. Just love seeing things like this at the show. So a couple of cool cars side by side. This Mustang looking really nice. Next to it, Chevelle running a weigh-in blower on a small block. Very, very nice. I bet this thing sounds great. Very tough car. Car after my own heart. Good bit of American muscle right there. had this car here a couple of times. This has been a car of the week winner. When a big enough engine is never big enough, this thing, check that out. Big block, blower, BDS, and this classic Corvette. The cool thing about this car is it's actually been built for a long time. It's not a recent build, it's actually a real survivor build, which is great. You know, great to see these cars here. Love the gauges hanging out of the hood. Those of you who know my Camaro know that I've done the same thing, but very, very, very tough car indeed. So check this out. This is the back area heading down towards the Tesla superchargers, and it's full up here. Look at that. McLaren, Ferrari, absolutely incredible. So check out this Chevy Apache. How cool is this? Beautiful patina finish on it. Really nicely done. Just a modest but quite nice interior. Under the hood, have a look at that. LS. Couple of blow-off valves on the front, a couple of turbos as well. Really nicely done. I bet this thing sounds great. Very cool. So here's the overflow lot. Absolutely packed again. I'm sure we're packed downstairs as well. We unfortunately had to cone off again this morning because we were so full. There's a new Bronco over there, but great to see so many people here this morning. Right, let's check out some motorcycles. So when these things pulled in, I wasn't really sure what I was looking at. It feels like something out of a Dr. Seuss book. This guy has taken the fenders off a couple of Volkswagens, created a frame, put in a little 4-stroke engine in this thing, and lo and behold, you got a little motorcycle. Aren't they cool? Really, really cool. I don't think I'd like to set off on a trip to Sturgis in it, for example, but I tell you what, in terms of turning some heads, what a great idea. His and hers. So that's it for another week at South OC Cars and Coffee. What a great turnout. Not sure if you can see Ant Anstead, of course, from Wheeler Dealers over my shoulder. Had a chat with him before his first time here. Great to have you here, Ant. He lives just up the road, so hopefully he's going to be a regular. Big thanks to everyone who brought out your amazing cars, motorcycles, trucks, all the cool stuff we had here today. Really great. A big thank you, of course, to the outlets of San Clemente for allowing us to be here, to Ruby's and Rockwell's for bringing their coffee and the donuts, and of course to our sponsors, Maguire's, the new one, of course, Polestar, Multitori, Next Level Detailing. We love you guys. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate all your support. A big, big thank you to all of our volunteers. Thanks for turning up here and just helping us organise everything. Thank you so much. Have a great week. We will see you back here next week for another South OC Cars and Coffee.